Hello good people, welcome to the bridge. Today I will show to you what to do on the first day of a design sprint. But first, let's run the show title.
My name is Balmung and welcome to Socionautas.
The very first step of a design sprint is to understand deeply the problem that you are trying to solve. For this, you need to interview the stakeholders and collect vital information about the project. Then we set up a backlog with the tasks that you need to get done by the end of our design sprint. In order to review the process, we will use a personal project as an example. Different from other methodologies, in design sprint we have a preset agenda and look like this for the first day. The stakeholders' presence is required mostly on the first day, then briefly in 2 more occasions. Our example is a documentary photography called Numen. You may do not know, but documentary photography is a very expensive art form. And we all know that is not a profitable business right now. The ultimate goal of this project is to create a structure able to provide the minimal conditions to produce these stories without need to invest your own money on the work. So let's start with the first exercise, the interview. The goal of this exercise is to put everyone in the same page because sometimes different stakeholders have very different interests about the project. In this case, we have only 3 stakeholders, and speaking for myself, my main interest is to build a strong UX case study to my portfolio with open data. Why? Well, when you do user experience projects, you usually deal with sensitive information about your client's business. And non-disclosure agreement is very common in the field. In this project, my goal is to share all data, including revenue. After the interview, we set up brand attributes to get a clear idea about how the brand should feel, should sound, and further should look like. This exercise provides valuable information to art direction, and you use this as a guideline to design. This is our brand attribute board. To get there, we just brainstorm keywords in these categories, and we allow a lot of ideas, then we filter and prioritize. So now we are ready to do user profiles. It's more or less like play role-play games. This exercise provides an interlocutor to your brand and will be a lot more easier to plan your entire communication strategy if you have a user profile. We usually work with 3 user profiles that cover a broad spectrum of our customers or users. You can do more or fewer profiles than that, of course, but less. Well, there is no need to be lazy and more sound like you want to communicate with everyone. And by experience, you know that is not an efficient way to go. But more important is to have in the profile detailed information about demographics, a background story, and a map of needs and solutions that you can offer. So we have our user profiles. Now we need to work on our goals and set up a backlog. I like to divide the goal in 3 categories: revenue, awareness, and efficiency. We map long-term goals even if you do not plan to implement now. It's very important to not lose these goals from sight. Then we translate our goals into tasks and attribute values from Fibonacci sequence to impact, feasibility, and urgency to make high-valuable tasks emerge. For example, in order to achieve your revenue goals, we need to do those tasks. We attribute values to impact. How much those tasks impact your business? Higher the number, higher is the impact that the task has. How much feasible is the task? We have all the resources to execute. And finally, how much urgent is? So now we have a total score with the value of each task. We do the same with awareness and efficiency. Then we organize this list by value and we will end up with a clear picture about what we have to do to achieve your goals. This organized list is your product backlog. It's important to say that you need to refine your backlog from time to time. A backlog is an important tool to keep you on track, to not spend time and resources on low-value tasks. But it's a tool, not a cell. In your sprint, you select tasks from the product backlog. Each task has a value that we previously set that defines the value of your sprint. We use this board to monitor the progress of your sprint, and the goal is to burn down this index to 0. It's almost done. We have now to think about your user journey. We need to think about how our users will find about us, how they will engage, how they will return, buy, and spread the word about your brand. We do it for all our users, trying to put yourselves in their shoes, to think in their perspective about your brand. Once you have that flow done, we can now work on your sitemap and start sketching some ideas on paper. Now we can call it a day and rest to the day ahead, where we will talk about story frame, stylescapes, and wireframes. So keep tuned and watch the next episode for the second day of our design sprint. See you there!